So I want to share my process for cutting my cookies. So this is going to be these popcorn, and this was just a JPEG image, rather a PNG that I found on a Google search, and I'm just using it as my reference. So I am going to outline each of my cookies, and then after I'm done doing that, I am going to cut them all out. Now, I use a very sharp, I got this actually at the dollar store in the craft section. Again, a PNG Google image I found online. So I will outline, and I'll kind of, do that with all of these. I give them a little bit of space because sometimes there can be some breakage. And then I want to explain something really quick before I end this video. Okay, so as you can see, so what I did was I actually cut off some of the popcorn to make it one even shape, because this is way easier to cut out. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some popcorns with a thick roll icing. I wanted to share also that this is 3.5 inches. So from top to bottom, 3.5 inches. And let me cut out one of these so I can kind of show you my process. So you want to cut as straight as possible. And that's why I like to outline first, because it gives a guideline for where you're cutting, and then it's so much easier to cut. Oops. And I am cutting on my counter. So again, just trace along your cut. And be very careful. I always chill my dough, always. Much easier to cut and handle. I could have probably went closer to the edge, hindsight. So you want to be very careful in taking them out. And remove the parchment paper. There you have it. And then I'll just place all of these on the baking sheet. This particular cookie I'll probably bake, so it's about 1/4 of an inch thick. I will bake this about at 350 for about 9 to 11 minutes. Okay, so now I am going to draw the outline. As you can see, my cookies did spread a little bit, but most of this is going to be covered anyways. So this I couldn't quite tell the scalloped lines, so I just kind of made a guess. But also that way I have enough space for popcorn. So I'll just continue repeating this step. So I realized for this process that I forgot to record how I did my icing. Now, it is a thick, like toothpaste, like the white thick toothpaste kind of consistency, maybe a little thicker. Just about that thickness. And then basically what I did is I took half white and I used Deco Pack. Let me make sure this is Deco Pack. Yeah, Deco Pack white gel color. And then I used a little bit of the yellow with just a slight bit of tan to bring like a very mellow yellow color. And I mixed the two side by side in piping bags, if you can understand what I'm saying. So one piping bag, thick white frosting, and one yellow, and then put them both in a piping bag together. And then here, basically what I'm doing is just outlining the scalloped part and the rest of the container, like the popcorn container and flooding it. So you're just going to keep, repeat this step for all of your cookies. And then because I had chose to paint the details thinking, it's going to be easier, probably should have done piping because it probably actually would have been easier. Once the popcorn that you originally piped is dry, then what you're going to want to go back in and you could do this with like a toothpick or something, but you basically just want to go in and kind of like mash up those, like the areas that are going to look popped, if that makes sense. And then go in and add even more details. So I did this multiple times. So you'll notice that it's not full in the beginning. I continued this process for a while because I needed parts of them to dry, because in the beginning when I first tried to pipe these details on top of each other, they just kind of like ended up making like a blob. And that's not what I wanted. So, and you can pipe them pretty thick and then layer them on top of each other too. So as they dry, you can layer extra popcorn. So it really looks like the box is like overflowing with popcorn kernels. So again, just make some areas that are going to be kind of like the smooth rounded areas, and then other areas that are going to be, and some areas that are obviously going to be a little more rough, that you're going to, create the indents. And that's where we're actually going to add the color at the end with like the yellow, little bit of tannish brown to make like the popcorn kernels. And it just makes it pop like real popcorn. Okay, so I have to apologize, you guys. I realized, so I was kind of running a little bit behind towards the end of these cookies and realized that I didn't have my extra phone anywhere to record, because usually I set that one up to record like if I'm doing using my projector. So I used my projector to outline these. I'll share the image that I used for these, for like the outline, and then for using with my projector to my phone. And then I will also say this, I went over this color so you can see how light the letters are. I actually ended up going over that, again, my colors looked a little bit light. So I went over and I just wanted to make sure that, that they were really like all kind of matched up. You can see me going over it again. And, so I just went over it again with, the color to really make sure that that red was nice and bright. So the last, bit of detailing that we're going to do is we're going to go in and take some yellow food color. I just used some yellow gel color, and I went in with a smaller paintbrush, and just added details into the areas that were like the broken pieces that we did. And then also went in and piped. As you can see, I'm just kind of filling in some of the gaps, to just make it look a little fuller. And then, so I go in, and in the next, a few that I work on, you can see where I go in also with a little bit of like a tannish brown to create like kernels almost. And all I did was I just put just a dab of the paint and just dabbed it in there, like nothing real crazy, just dabbed in that color. And it's crazy how much that small detail can add so much to your cookies. Like it literally makes them look so much more realistic, just that little tiny detail. So yeah, so thank you guys for tuning in. I really hope you enjoyed the video. I will work on a video using my projector here soon so I can kind of show you that process. I don't use it very often, but I know a lot of people are curious about projectors, and I can explain like the projector that I have and how I use it. So thank you guys for tuning in. If you like the video, please, 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 if you guys can like, comment, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. Really appreciate it. Yeah, and I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Have a great rest of your day.